So this is my first ever game that I made, and it was made in the Godot Engine. Now, while making this game, I was absolutely new to the game development, so I had no idea about it, right? So this project was more of like a tutorial for me because I used to think of some gameplay mechanic, and then I used to spend a lot of time on YouTube, internet, as well as the Godot community asking questions and trying to implement them the answers in the game, right? So it was a bit difficult in the beginning. It always is difficult, as everyone knows that starting is often the most difficult part of any journey. So same was the case with the game development, and I really enjoyed actually making the sprites. As you can see, it's a pixel art game, so making the artwork, it's not really very beautiful, but it's a decent artwork. I mean, it looks decent, and I had no trouble creating the artwork. On the other hand, like, I had a lot of ideas, right, but I was not able to implement them in the game. The reason was that, first of all, I was a bit uncomfortable with all the math and logic that goes behind game development. Now, I'm a student of engineering, so it didn't really take me that much time to learn all that. However, still, to implement AI and to make some really fascinating and cool enemies, I still find that difficult, to be honest. But I have somewhat improved. But in this game, you can see the enemies were very basic. I have added some cannons, you can see. Also, pandemic was going on, so in case you're wondering that why I made the enemies like they look like corona, that was intentional. In fact, my game even predicted that there are going to be more variants, because as you can see, there is one orange colored basic corona enemy, and then there is a bigger one that takes more bullets to die and that is the advanced version. So there's that. Apart from that, yes, in order to proceed to the next level, you have to beat the bosses, and it's quite evident that the bosses are not that much difficult. They just, like, some bosses follow you, some bosses, they don't even bother to follow you, they just like increase their speed. Very basic, because as I said, implementing AI is something a bit difficult. So as I was a beginner, I wasn't able to do that. I tried various tutorials, I read various documentations, but still it was a bit difficult for me, right? And so what happened was that I revisited this project after a long time. So this project was actually, I remember I started working on it, I believe in the beginning of 2020. It was January, February, right? First of all, I tried it in Unity, right? But then I just realized that there's another engine. At that time, my internet speed wasn't that great, so I wanted, an engine that was really light as well as very friendly in Godot. The GD script, everything is so beautiful. In fact, Unity also, I feel a little bit uncomfortable in Unity sometimes, because my just in my computer there's this sort of a problem where the visual code doesn't recognize the script C#. I don't know why I have installed everything related to that, but still sometimes the IntelliSense doesn't work. Most of the time IntelliSense doesn't work, so it's really frustrating, because IntelliSense is very important. It gives you hints and stuff, or autocomplete. So all those features were missing, so I wanted another editor, and Godot, well, it's all in one. Like, it's got the inbuilt editor and everything. Also, it's highly customizable, looks great, right? Feels really awesome, and I love it. The community is also amazing. So apart from that, yes, as you can see, this is the last level of my game. Nothing much, but I really like one AI that I made in this game. Very simple. It just follows you around, but it's kind of like crazy and dumb at the same time because when it gets below the platform, it just keeps jumping, trying to get to you. There's no like shortest pathfinding algorithm or any pathfinding algorithm, to be honest here, but just a simple logic that I added in the code. So sometimes this AI, as you can see, this ghost AI, it also frustrates you. It's kind of interesting also. It challenges you, it keeps following you around, and I had to actually make sure that this ghost dies with just 3 bullets. Otherwise, it was a bit difficult to kill it. It was that much bothersome. However, I guess it's a good AI, and apart from that, I think everything is good. But we'll see. I really want to further develop this. Now I have learned a lot of things, so I can implement them. But again, because I was new, And as this was my first project, the code it's kind of like a spaghetti code. I have just made a mess of everything. So many scripts, some are inherited, some are not, some are copy pasted code, right, from one script to another instead of inheriting, because at that time I was just experimenting around, right? I wanted things to be done faster instead of in a proper and like in a nice manner, not haphazard manner. But well, I guess you learn from your mistakes. So overall, this project taught me a lot. It's a great project. I adore this project. I still love it, and I think it's a pretty good and decent game. Given that this was my first attempt, I show this project to others with great pride, because obviously I used to like play a lot of Mario. I grew up playing Mario, and I drew a lot of inspiration from that game. And it's sort of like maybe in aesthetics or something, kind of like captures that essence of that game, right? But still, Mario is amazing, and this was my first attempt, but still a great game.